What's going on, everybody? It's your observant lineman, Uche Nwaneri. Before we start this video, if you haven't already done so, think about subscribing to Uche Nwaneri, the observant lineman. And if you like this video, please smash the like button. Have at it. Take a sledgehammer to it. Take a hammer to it. Whatever you want. Just smash the like button. Help this video get boosted on the YouTube algorithm. Now, the Chicago Bears, a team that I've spoken about at length in regards to the litany of issues that they have with the franchise at the moment. This is a team that really is in search of an identity. They've got some pieces together, but overall, the one ingredient that's absolutely necessary to be successful in the NFL is the quarterback position. And that has been a position that's been in flux for a very long time with the Chicago Bears. But Bleacher Report is actually saying that insiders and executives within the franchise believe in Mitchell Trubisky. They're saying that he's proven his doubters wrong. Now, I think you guys know how I feel, but I'll let you be the judge. Let's check out the article from Bleacher Report and see what exactly they're seeing with Mitchell Trubisky that would justify the kind of confidence that they're actually showing in a quarterback who has struggled and been as streaky as they come, and probably one of the streakiest quarterbacks I can think of in recent memory. But let's take a look at the article here real quick. It says, he's proved doubters wrong. Why insiders say Trubisky is Bears' answer at QB. Okay, let's go into it. Every decision comes down to assessing the alternatives, and as absurd as it might have sounded just a month ago, and as impossible as it would have sounded when he was benched in week 3, re-signing Mitchell Trubisky just might be the Bears' most logical choice this offseason. And play with who if they don't sign him, said one pro scout. What are your other options, said an NFC executive. He's played well regardless of the competition and proved doubters wrong. If the regime stays, I wouldn't be surprised if they re-sign him at a reduced rate and let him compete again next year, another executive said. Now, notice these are all anonymous executives who aren't going to put their names behind this kind of thing because if you're being logical, they're best to look at other options before they decide what they do with Mitchell Trubisky. But let's look here at the rest of the article. It says, at 8-7 with one game left and a shot at the playoffs, Chicago will be at least 17th in the draft order and not high enough to get a top 3 quarterback prospect who would be a rookie starter in 2021. They are going to need a bridge player at QB, the pro scout said. Trubisky isn't the perfect choice, but he's shown real progress recently. And as the league sources asked, if not Trubisky, then who? And valid point there, valid question. Most NFL insiders agree there are 6 quarterback prospects at the top of the draft class. Clemson's Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Mac Jones, and Kyle Trask. There are at least 7 teams with a strong need for quarterback: Chicago, Indianapolis, Jacksonville, New England, New Orleans, the Jets, and Washington. One veteran NFL agent who has studied the upcoming quarterback market says there are at least 9 other teams who might enter the quarterback market: Atlanta, Carolina, Dallas, Denver, Detroit, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, San Fran, and Tampa Bay. Half of the league is going to look seriously at this position, he said. Dak Prescott is the only long-term answer among this year's free agent quarterbacks, and he's likely to remain with the Dallas Cowboys. The others, Jacoby Brissett, Phillip Rivers, Tyrod Taylor, Andy Dalton, Cam Newton, Joe Flacco, Ryan Fitzpatrick, and Jameis Winston are not clear upgrades over Trubisky. There are some intriguing potential targets in that trade market where nothing is certain. Carson Wentz, Kirk Cousins, Matthew Stafford, Jimmy Garoppolo, Nick Foles, Sam Darnold, Daniel Jones, Matt Ryan, and Gardner Minshew II are among the quarterbacks who might become available. It says here, Bears general manager Ryan Pace and his staff were interested in Wentz ahead of the 2016 draft and had looked into trading up for him that year. But based on 2020 performance, insiders aren't sold that Wentz would be an upgrade over Trubisky. Head coach Matt Nagy has a close relationship with the Eagles head coach Doug Peterson, whose opinion could factor in. Trubisky's improvement in his return to the starting role, the Bears already have a bridge quarterback whom they can keep on a relatively inexpensive 2 or 3 year deal with incentives since he has yet to prove from one season to the next that he can be the guy. The agent said that the likely annual salary would be a small raise on Trubisky's rookie deal average of $7.25 million. The way Mitch has played, they're foolish to try anybody else on this list and pay him. The agent said, I don't think Trubisky is going to have a big market outside of Chicago. True, he probably won't. It says here, Trubisky is currently playing the best football of his young NFL career. Getting benched for Nick Foles in week 3 might have been just the medicine he needed. It also helps that Chicago's offensive line is finally playing better. Better offensive line play has opened up the long-suffering running game and allowed the Bears to incorporate more play action and to put Trubisky on the move, all of which plays to his strengths. Over the past 4 games, the Bears have averaged 159 yards rushing on 32 attempts. We're going to talk about these stats over the last 4 games here in a second. Their passing efficiency has also jumped to a 72% completion rate over the past 4 games compared with 64% for the previous 7. Now, there's some more stuff here. Let's go through it quickly because I think there are some things that you need to understand about what's going on here. The improvements on the field have come as offense coordinator Bill Lazor took over play calling from Nagy in week 10. After week 11 bye, Trubisky returned as Chicago's starter in week 12. In his last 4 games, Bears are 3-1. He's completed 72% of his passes, and he's thrown 7 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions, and has a 108.5 QB rating. In that span, Chicago has averaged 35 points per game, albeit during a soft stretch of the schedule featuring opponents whose defense is ranked between 27th and 32nd in yards allowed. Trubisky isn't a completely changed man. He's still good for at least one infuriating decision every week. He's thrown an awful end zone interception in each of the last 2 games. On Sunday, Trubisky will take on Green Bay at home with a playoff spot on the line. Chicago is in with a win or an Arizona loss at the Rams. The Packers, who are playing for the NFC's number 1 seed, have the league's hottest offense right now, but the Bears are shockingly right behind them. Okay, I'll believe that. Let's go down here to the bottom. Green Bay's defense is not in the same category of those Trubisky has thrived against in recent weeks. The Packers allow the league's 7th fewest yards per game, and Trubisky went 24-46 for 3 touchdowns and 2 costly picks and a sack fumble during a 41-25 loss at Lambeau Field in week 12. Let's keep these things, and I'm going to stop it there because this article is getting a little bit lengthy. I think we get the point here with what they're trying to say about Mitchell Trubisky. Let's have a look at Mitchell Trubisky over the last 4 games. As you can see here, these are teams, all except for Green Bay, that rank at the very bottom of the NFL. And this is the issue. This is what really is the issue at the heart of everything with Chicago. The last, 10 years in Chicago has been a consistent mismanagement of that quarterback position. They just haven't been able to find the right player to fit in, to work the offense, to actually operate the offense in an efficient enough way that there could be confidence in the quarterback's ability to carry the team moving forward. Now, with Mitchell Trubisky, of everything he's done in the last 4 weeks, I don't think that any of the I don't put it past any of the quarterbacks that preceded Mitchell Trubisky, going back to Jay Cutler, couldn't do the exact same thing that he did here in his last 4 games. He's not done anything that's particularly special. He's playing against one team that has the top overall pick. He's playing against another team in Detroit that's a 10-loss team. Minnesota just had 6 touchdowns scored on them by one player last week. Houston, they've been leaking yardage all season long. This has been a complete, this is all smoke and mirrors. This is garbage time stat boosting that Mitchell Trubisky has been doing over the last 4 weeks. And yes, they're in a position to get into the playoffs, but let's have no doubt as to why they really are in a position to get into the playoffs. The NFC East has been a total and utter mess. If the NFC East has played up to any of its potential that it's shown in the last 5 years prior to this season, then chances are the Chicago Bears right now are not even close to sniffing a wild card position in the playoffs. This is what keeps franchises from elevating to the next level. At this point, you've had 4 years of Mitchell Trubisky. If you cannot decide right now, after 4 years, that he is the guy who can lead your team for another 5 years, then there's no point in looking to hold on to him, coming into the 2021 season. And, even more so than that, the fact that there are people who may be pushing for this within the organization, it's going to be the people who are going to get hurt most in this are the fans. The fans are getting this false sense of hope that he's finally turned a corner. But if you dig a little bit deeper and look at what's really at play in his game against the teams he's played against, these are things that you would expect. These are things that you could get from a backup quarterback just as well. You could get a backup quarterback come in against these defenses minus Green Bay and play just as well. But I think that, honestly, Chicago's making a big mistake if they commit any more time to Mitchell Trubisky. Look for a diamond in the rough in the NFL draft. Look for a young quarterback who has some of the skill sets you're looking for, or look to the free agency market. There's going to be a lot of quarterbacks that are going to be in high demand, but the Bears have just as much draw to get a good quarterback as anybody else. But let me know what you guys think. Should the Bears commit to Mitchell Trubisky moving forward, whether it's for 2 years, 3 years, or 5 years? Let me know. Leave your comments down below. Hit the like button if you like this video. I'm your observant lineman, Uche Nwaneri. Appreciate you guys so much for checking out this video, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace.